Welcome everyone to the remaining weeks of the Business Management Capstone course. This video will detail the remaining assignments for this semester. Within the weekly modules content area, you're going to see the folder that's labeled weeks 13 through 15 remaining assignments for this semester. As always, it has the same structure with the learning objectives, the assignment summary, which I'll go over each assignment one by one, course content, and now we get to the assignments. The first one is course participation, weeks 13 through 15, team communication. All this means is if you stay in constant communication with your team, you will receive 100 points for the course participation, weeks 13 through 15. Keep in mind, it's only 100 points total. It's not 100 points for each week. So if I hear from your team that you're not participating, you will obviously not receive the 100 points for the course participation. Next, you have the Case 8 Tesla in 2019. That should be very straightforward to you. Next, we have the Global Simulation Year 15 decisions. Normally, I just say, hey, you have decisions, you know what to do, let's move on to the next assignment. Well, I'm going to pause for a moment, and the reason being is Year 15, you can just have at it, meaning that you could take a lot of risk that you would not have done in the past. The reason being is there is no Year 16 for us. Our simulation competition stops at Year 15. So we don't care about Year 16. We're not moving on to Year 16. So definitely keep that in mind. I have seen teams in the past win the simulation by taking a lot of risk in Year 15 because they knew there was no Year 16. Now, that's up to you. You don't have to do that. You can stick with your same game plan if you want to. I at least just wanted to share that information with you. Next one is the Global Simulation post-game peer evaluations. Clearly, you know how to accomplish this. This assignment is not due until December 6th. Next, we have research paper, Disruptive Technology. The reason why I chose this topic for your research paper is normally when I present at conferences, I'm always presenting about disruptive technology, what's going to change in the industry. So to me, it's kind of near and dear to my heart. I think anyone who's business-minded needs to keep an eye ahead to see what might, knock them off from being number one. So just make sure you review the assignment details, the grading rubric, and submit the paper. Okay, next we have the annual report. Okay, so this is a true annual report. This is not like your module reports where you just answered a few questions. This will take you some time. Okay, so it's not due until December 6th. Clearly, I'm giving you extra time because Thanksgiving break. All right, you should really be getting a jump on this early. Make sure you review the instructions, the grading rubric. Review all documentation with team members before attempting the assignment. Each team needs to divide up the workload and meet on a regular basis. And of course, once you complete it, go ahead and have one team member submit it to the annual report submission link. Usually the first question I receive when students see this annual report assignment is, where's my example? As you know, I don't give examples. There are a tremendous amount of examples out on the web of true annual reports by public traded companies that you can go look up yourself. You do not need me. You have to be able to think and learn on your own when you're, in business. And obviously, you also have team members that you can rely upon as well. Last but not least, we have the Capstone Presentation to the Board of Trustees, which is, of course, myself. So you want to review the Capstone Presentation details, review the grading rubric, schedule a team online presentation with me. I will attempt to accommodate your requested date and time. I know last time with the introductions, I believe I pretty much was able to accommodate everyone. Keep in mind, you do not have to schedule within my office hours. I know some people work in the daytime, some work at night, some work on the weekends. So whatever works for the team, I will do my best to accommodate you with the presentation. One part I want to say about the presentation is do not read the slides to me. I don't want to see 3 paragraphs on one slide and you just read the slides to me. That's what's been happening in the past with the bad teams, I should say. And they get deducted a tremendous amount of points because I do not want you to read the slides to me. There should not be 1,000 words on one slide. Also, you should not just be reading something that you typed up prior to the presentation, because it clearly will come across that way. You should know what's on a slide. You should have memorized what you should be saying, and it should come across as natural, not as you're just reading a piece of paper to me. So just keep that in mind. Now let's go ahead and look at the results of Year 14 within Globus. Here we have the results for the Year 14 scoreboard. Before I start with number 1 and go down the list, I'm actually going to jump to number 5. This is the team that was very critical all semester long, and it's Team B. And you may say to yourself right away, yeah, Professor Hensley, they're at 83, big deal. It is a big deal to me, okay? They are the only team that gained points during Year 14. Yes, it wasn't much, but they had a gain. Yes, they're in 5th place, then again, second to last. But they were way behind everyone pretty much the whole semester. And I've always said is their goal would be to at least try to jump 1 team, if not 2. So I just want to make sure Team B understands that I appreciate their effort. Continue on. If you could jump 1 more team, that would be just truly amazing. I'm sure Team C is going to fight you on that. They're not just going to give in. I think it's going to be difficult probably to gain any more ground. But then again, like I said, I really just want to start with Team B because they had the only positive in Year 14. Team E, they only dropped 1. 1's no big deal. Team D dropped 4, but now they're in 2nd place. Team A dropped 9, and of course it brought them down to 3rd place for Year 14, where they've been hovering around the 1st and 2nd place. Team C, you only dropped 1. You're doing fine, and like I said, I believe it's probably going to be very difficult for Team B or F to catch you, Team C. But definitely, don't give up now. Your goal, Team C, would be try to bypass Team A and get that 3rd spot. So we still have a tight game here. So everyone keep it up. So let's go ahead and look at the game to date scoreboard. So what I just reviewed was just for that year. This is the game to date scoreboard. So we have Team E at 107, 1st place. Team A is in 2nd, so they were in 3rd just for that year, but overall they're in 2nd at 105. Team D is at 101, Team C is at 101, Team B is at 89, and Team F is at 86. So then again, I commend Team B. You may instantly say, oh, well, Team F might have dropped off, that's why Team B bypassed them, but keep in mind, Team B gained during Year 14 while everyone else lost. So it wasn't just they got to 5th place by default because Team F dropped so much. Then again, keep it up. Team B, you had to make a tremendous move to try to catch like a Team C or Team D, but who knows? If they drop, everything's possible. Team F, now your goal is to get back to at least 5th place to show Team B that you're not going to give up and just accept last place for the simulation. I mean, this is very tight. I would say Team E, A, D, and C all still have a chance for 1st place because it depends on what everyone does. Team E is 6 points ahead of Team C and D and C, But if they drop tremendously and Team D and C increases, well, they could bypass them just like Team A obviously could. They could still win the simulation. So it's still pretty much wide open. And keep in mind, for Year 15 decisions, there is no Year 16 for us, meaning that we stop after Year 15. So you can now implement a decision that you would not have because of the ramifications that it would have had in Year 16. Well, we're not going to 16, 17, and 18. We're stopping after Year 15. Keep that in mind. The good teams know what I'm talking about without me telling you the decisions that now you can make that you don't care what happens in the future. So if you're one of those teams that not for sure what I'm referring to, make sure you're analyzing all your decisions and hopefully you can find what I'm referring to. That concludes the video. As always, please reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns. Have a great week.